Yeah, the coaching staff's going to be the same as it was. That was a key part of what I do, is to make sure we get the stability in the coaching ranks. And it was a very, very short conversation to be had with all three, to be fair. It wasn't even a case we had to sort of sit down and have a discussion. It was very much straight away, what we're doing for next season, how we're planning, what we're doing. Mike Luff had a great first season, I thought, as head coach. He'll be all the better for the experience now of having that season under his belt. Carl Fitzpatrick and Alan Holmes, they're still going to be player coaches. So we think that they'll be better again for another season. Particularly Alan, that was his first year as well. And the backroom team, the fact John Young, and obviously the guys who fulfil specific roles, in assistance to the coaches. We've managed to keep hold of those. Obviously Matthew does a great job off the field for us, and I think we've got a good, strong group of guys, who can, again, improve this year and add more to what we do. Well, again, learning from what went well last season and perhaps what didn't go quite so well, we felt that we only had one pre-season game last year. And even though that was a tough, competitive fixture with Tyndale, we perhaps were a little bit slow out the blocks. We lost 2 of our first 3. So this time we're going to have 2 pre-season games. We're going to play Huddersfield on the 17th of August, and then we've got Sale FC here on the 31st of August. There's going to probably be a week's rest in between, which we think can be beneficial. It means that the guys who we identified in the Huddersfield game who are perhaps needing a little bit more conditioning work, can get that in before the second fixture. And Sale will be a tough test here on the last Saturday in August. They're a team that's got realistic ambitions of joining us in this division next year, and we think the 2 teams that will give us what we need in pre-season. Well, it's not sounding too promising, to be honest, about the Lancashire Cup. We've asked about the draw. We were sort of led to believe early in pre-season that the sort of first set of games would be the bank holiday weekend. We've not heard that there is a draw. I'm hearing on the grapevine that there's probably a lack of interest to actually make it a viable competition. So from that basis, it could be that there's no Lancashire Cup competition this year, which obviously is a shame. It's obviously a long-running tournament, but it's become a victim of the fact that we are in highly competitive leagues, and there is a big difference perhaps between the likes of the National League clubs and the regional clubs in terms of getting a meaningful game out of what is effectively a quarter-final. So it's disappointing, but we have to sort of plan around that and do other things in pre-season instead. Yeah, the first home game of the season is always a big day, but even more so this time around. It's a big celebration for the club. It's 40 years since we moved to Lightfoot Green, so we're hoping to make it a celebration of the birthday. We're looking for a lot of former players to come down on the day and get involved, and obviously just on a more wider brief, people who've supported the club over the 40 years that we've been here. We'd like to see as many old faces back at the club as we can. The game itself, local derby, it's going to be great to have some teams that are closer to Preston, in terms of a bit more interest. I'm sure essentially we'll bring a vocal support, as they always do. And I'd just urge our supporters and people who've perhaps not been to the club for a little while to get down that day. It'll hopefully be a nice warm September day, and we can have a real competitive game on the field and a good celebration off it.